everybody, and welcome to Prophecies and Predictions with Jason and Alexander. I feel like that'd be like a good storybook.
Yes, I think
Jason and Alexander fight against the Argonauts or something. I don't know what the word would be.
Bro,
What?
I just thought of it.
What?
A TARTLE kids book
That's so cool.
explaining data packets and stuff.
Let's talk about your future, children.
Yeah, we can make a digital TARTLE children's book.
That's actually kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I'm not very
We
good.
can have farming, and then we can have like the data packets out in the land, and then
That's neat.
Yeah.
You know me, I suck at explaining things simply, so I'm going to need your help.
yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about predictions. So I want to get into this real quick while you're lighting up the Madeira. Somebody's my Spanish.
Abdullah Oblongata.
Madeira Sagrada.
What is this?
Sagrada?
Madeira Sagrada.
Yeah, it's Palo Santo.
Cienzo.
But I want people to understand this.
What do you want them to understand?
I want them to understand what is going on in the world right now, especially when you look at Black Friday and you look at supply systems, supply chains, and you look at, and I'm not saying this is boring because this affects each and every one of you. When you go to the market and you go to buy something, and those oranges were 50 cents a piece and now they're $1.50 a piece.
Yep.
That's not the grocery store making shitloads of money off you. They're on very thin
margins.
Very thin margins. There's a reason why it went from 50 cents to $1.50. There's a reason why your paycheck doesn't buy as much. There's a reason why your house is double its value in 15 years. All these
why
things
isn't
play a
your
role.
pay double in value?
Yes, exactly.
You know what I also noticed though? It's just a quick side point about the food.
I love this.
I've noticed that more of the fruit coming into grocery stores have mold on it already. What does that mean to you?
They're sitting out in the ocean.
Yes. I knew you would
in
get it.
a container.
I knew you would get it.
And then the container gets put on a truck, and then all the exhaust from the truck goes in that container. A person can't live in the back of one of those trucks, but then all our food is back there.
Our food will?
Yeah,
That doesn't make sense.
they need to have air filtration systems in those trucks.
So
once we go electric,
that's cool.
boogie woogie woogie.
Yeah.
On trucks.
So what's our prophecy and prediction here?
So prophecy and prediction is this for me.
Mm-hmm.
Supply chain. You did a whole podcast on that. You got some of the leading minds.
Yeah.
How many guys were on there? 5?
4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
That's a lot of people, like experts, to talk to at once. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, you just like moderating. Like,
Yeah, help me.
But I mean, whenever you look at the supply chain and you have fruit that's sitting there waiting months to come in,
Avocados.
you have infrastructure that can't be built. Things are delayed. When you delay $30 million project, what happens to cost on any project that you delay?
It goes up.
Now we're almost 2 years.
It goes up. So what do you have to do? The governments have to step in and put together bills.
Yes.
They need to take out more debt to pay for these delays because logistics and supply chain don't work.
New debt always solves the problem.
No, it doesn't. So what happens is there's just like this massive influx of printed money that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So then the markets say, oh, this is great. Let's all invest. It goes up dramatically, but my pay hasn't increased.
No.
You should know for a fact that if your pay is not increasing in proportion to the value of everything else going up, something's wrong.
That's why even politicians are considering giving you money. That's why they put stimulus out there. That's why through COVID you got cash, and there's gonna be more of that.
Yeah.
So you guys can get all excited. You're gonna get more checks. You don't have to work. You can get more unemployment. They're gonna have to do that, and eventually you're gonna get a universal income
From TARTLE.
from TARTLE. Yeah, which it's those lights. We got a new studio. You guys can see that in the lights. Are they glaring out of my glasses?
No.
I don't want to be like a glare for
No, you look cool.
camera. Okay,
Yeah, you
cool.
look fine.
Sometimes I wear glasses, sometimes I don't, but I want to see you clearly in our futures and predictions.
I like this.
So
Look into the crystal ball.
So prediction. Let's stick with predictions here.
Yeah.
Prediction. Supply chain is going to be affected probably for another year and a half.
Yep.
Prices will still be high. Inflation's going to go. It's really at 15%. They say it's at 5, but it's about 15. But inflation's going to go to 10%.
Yeah.
Because it takes time. They're going to do more stimulus, so the stock market's going to just keep booming.
Yeah.
Because they're going to, asset prices are going to go up higher.
Okay. Asset prices increase. China, their debt profile is going to get larger. People won't be able to pay against essentially the things they've ordered on lines of credit. So, and with the onset of 3D printing and sovereign manufacturing at home or at businesses themselves, essentially micro manufacturing outfits, think about the beer industry. What happened with it? It went from all big beer to microbreweries. So what if we take that same concept and apply it to our manufacturing and everything else? What I see here occurring is that people will transition off of the reliance on a system that's very fragile and start to create these smaller networks or ecosystems that are far more robust.
Yes.
Far more anti-fragile.
Yes.
So the way you and I are discussing this is that we're going to see, as this current economy collapses on itself, which it will, and the rest of the world feels the pains of it.
Yeah, anything we do, we hiccup. The United States hiccups. The rest of the world throws up.
That's exactly right. And so when the next wave of COVID variants come in, and we keep getting hit with these pandemics, it'll cripple it further.
Which let me stop there.
Okay.
A variant doesn't always have to be super bad.
No.
You can have a variant that gives you like a cold-like symptom, and then you have antibodies. That can be a good thing. It's like we tell people to go get the chicken pox.
Yeah.
If a variant comes out and it's just like a cold-like and it's not that bad, because those variants, they have variants that do that in flus. Then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Not all variants are bad.
Okay. I didn't frame this properly. I'm not saying that the pandemic is bad.
Right.
The way larger institutional or governmental bodies handle the situation as
free pass to take force.
Hold on. I understand. Let's calm down here. It will have a detrimental warming up. It will have a detrimental effect.
Yes.
On these systems that are fragile.
Oh, yes.
So a collapsing economy, more pandemics that people don't know how to handle properly, right? A rise in debt. And what we're going to see is this will retune itself to more robust systems where people are doing manufacturing at home.
Yes.
What I see in the future is higher amounts of geothermal stations, right? In more local areas across more fault lines, generating a larger amount of abundant energy, which people will then use for their own self-manufacturing within these countries. And from that, they'll transition off of the weak supply chains and create their own. So it'll be like farm to table, plastic to table, you know what I mean? Metal to table, widget to table. It's a widget to table future. And that's all going to happen probably, I don't know, 50 years in total as all these,
and by that time, we're living in the metaverse anyways.
Yeah, you're heavily in the metaverse. Everyone's sharing, new things. So I'll just share you a design for the 3D printer, and it'll print your stuff out.
Yeah.
And we'll be printing our food. So logistics and supply chain think it's going to continue to grow in difficulty in the future. Actually, I think it's going to drop off significantly.
Well, because you have the zero effect of technology.
Yeah.
So as the computer right here that we have in our hands, would have cost us 30 years ago. How much would this have cost to build?
So much.
Yeah, it would have only been in the dark basement.
Skunk works.
Yeah, skunk work.
But the thing is that when people are taking the lens, especially the logistics and supply chains experts we talk to, they think it will just continue to do the thing it has done, and they try to just make it more efficient. They don't understand that a substitute is going to come up, a completely substituting model.
Well, we're seeing that with decentralization, that these substitutes are coming up. You're getting the most young, brilliant minds right now working on how do we decentralize.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. So this specific of decentralization, you'll find that countries will no longer want to rely on other countries. We've seen that system doesn't work. We've seen that the manufacturing of silicon wafer chips is being moved back here. Intel just opened that plant back up over here in Rio Rancho. 800 new jobs, and they want to produce the stuff here in the United States. And it's also from the stance of warfare and being technologically ahead of the other guy. You don't want your chips that go in your computers to be manufactured in a foreign nation.
Well, we talked about this before. Whenever we did the trade commissions after World War II, UN and all that stuff, we basically lost all of the industrial aspects here. We said, we can get it so much cheaper and we'll have other people make it and it'll be great.
Yeah.
But what we're realizing is
it's going to transition itself that everyone else making it was not so good. We then became reliant on other cultures. What you know well is your own culture. Even though everyone's doing business and we all think business acts a certain way, it doesn't. Every business has its own processes. The cultures within that business is different, and the culture within the larger culture is completely separate from all these other nations.
Let me give you an example. I want to give people an example of this. There's a really cool story, and it's really interesting. Their YouTube channel. It's called Origin, and they're out of Maine. Origin. Origin. They make clothing, they make jeans, they make boots, they make all that. So the founder of Origin decided to say, I'm going to make everything here in America down to the thread in the jeans. There will not be one thing that will be in any of my clothes that are going to be, it's all going to be in the United States. I'm going to source everything here from the cotton, in North Carolina to everything's going to be from here. So they went into these old factories, brought up these looms that were like
so cool.
so that were dirty and busted.
Yeah.
They found these guys, one of them just died. Like there was one guy left that knew how to operate these certain looms. Some of the looms that got shipped to South America, they went to South America, cut deals, made deals with like legislatures and stuff like that, backroom deals.
Yeah.
Got all the money, got them shipped. These huge looms, put them on a big truck, a boat.
ship?
Yeah, got them shipped here. The guy taught them how to use the looms, a bunch of people how to use them, and then died. He was the only one. There's no one. They've looked all around the world trying to find somebody that could operate these looms.
Wow.
So now you have young people that are dying. These young people are dying to work for this place. They get so many job applications constantly, and it's a middle class job.
But it's not patriotism. It's not that. And like when people said, "Oh, made in America," and had the American flag, that's
a right wing, like
that's a right wing, patriotism kind of thing, right? Nationalistic pride, like whatever. The whole idea here is that people of our generation,
it's community.
They want to feel the community. They want to feel it made here at home. There's an identity. There's a joy. There's a satisfaction in knowing that it was made here, supporting the local communities, and that the funds were directly paid towards this thing that they know, in the event of their little microeconomic system, is going to benefit everyone here.
Well, they just popped on the world Forbes fastest growing companies. So this company did, and they're just buying more factories and trying to buy equipment and stuff like that. So, and they're building a new factory in North Carolina. So whenever you look at this surgence of what is happening, I think you have the digital part has no borders. But when it comes to us transitioning for the next 20, 50 years,
with physical objects,
until we get into the metaverse, on physical objects, that's all going to be, like you said, that's all going to be in your city,
brought back to
in
home.
your neighborhood, in your town. That's why we're seeing a surge, like you said. Why do people like to go to microbreweries? It's in their community. Why do people go to, we have a great place right here. It's in a little house, and they make the best coffee in Albuquerque, I think.
Michael Thomas
Coffee. And they have little houses throughout Albuquerque that they have for their, why is there a line always?
Community loves it. Everything's great.
It's roasted here. Everything's, it's just,
but
your generation, I'm a little bit older, but your generation is starving for community.
Correct. Absolutely. And wanting the community, wanting the sense of identity, wanting to feel the pride, wanting to feel the joy in creating something locally and sharing that with people. If I make a product and it's sold online, it's very hard to establish a relationship with the people that are using it.
Yes.
Because they're everywhere. But if you're walking around and you're seeing people wear your brand, right? A very local brand, or drinking your coffee, that's a totally, totally different type of joy. And people are willing to back each other up. The systems, frankly, become much more robust. It's much more organic that way. And the way I see it in the prophecy and prediction with this too is that we have a very throwaway economy. But things are actually, it's funny, before things were very analog plug and play, where you could just pull things out, put something back in, people will be doing self-repairs on all the things they end up buying. They won't go anywhere else.
That's 100%, yes.
And what we'll find is that the waste will tailor off at the same time. So if something, and it'll be kind of cool.
But this is even now with technology, you have the brightest minds working on waste.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to come up with a solution for all those shipping containers out in the water.
Yeah, but and think about it. Like, you get a Patagonia jacket.
Yes.
Patagonia's like, you should probably stitch that thing up yourself. Continue to use it. It's still going to work, right? You found that people, frankly, don't give a shit if their phone cracks a little bit. But if they can fix it at home and put like a new color on it, like do something that's totally unique to them, that's cool.
Well, there's a resurgence of horseshoeing. Why
Don't
are
talk to me about horseshoeing. I love horseshoes.
I know. Why are young guys?
That's my game.
Why are young guys and ladies? Why are your generation? Why are they all of a sudden wanting to go back to craftsmanship?
There's a different sense of value when you're just going to flip burgers.
It's analog, very analog.
Oh, it's very.
If you
analog.
have a sander and you're sanding by hand and making a canoe.
But Jason, I think the way the mind, if I'm gonna take a step back on this, if we look at the data that supports learning curves, if you apply a concept that needs to be learned to something tactile, there is a greater retention of information and understanding. So as people do things more tactile, as that comes back, even in the onset of everything being very digital, they're going to want to balance it out with things that are very tactile.
Yes.
Their jobs are going to be want to be tactile.
Yes.
So that sense of learning, right, it's going to have a better sense of focus to it, is actually going to afford us a greater joy and purpose in work. Outside of, I'm just going to go in and do these things, it's 100% digital, my job. Yeah, it's not where it is.
Well, I mean, realistically too, when you look at it, let's say you're a horseshoe person.
Yeah.
And I can pay you in Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency.
Cool.
And there's no way to really track that, but I'm getting a universal income because my income looks on paper like I only make $12,000 a year, but I'm horseshoeing.
I wish.
And I make, an extra 12 grand off the side, and I'm, have it in my digital wallet.
That's what they're going to do.
That's what people are going to do. It's the bartering, the paying in digital currency as wallets and TARTLEs, and we're going to get into that in another episode, but
it's like it's like a step up on Craigslist. It's like I want to blend Fiverr and TaskRabbit and Craigslist together with crypto payments. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like these are these things that are like coming together, and that's what the future. It's going to be this amalgamation of these things that are bonded that creates this sort of.
And the government's is going to be so far behind. They already are.
They're not going.
They don't even know what to do with. And I want to. I encourage people. I do not agree with this guy at all.
Who?
Ted Cruz, Texas Republican. He ran for. He's
Zodiac killer.
He's like he shocked people. All of a sudden, he gave a speech on Bitcoin and blockchain.
Yeah,
and he shocked people how much he knew. He's been studying this out. He stood in front of the Senate.
Yeah,
and said, how do you guys even think that you can regulate this? Because he said, I could go to each of you now, and there's probably 1% of us in here that know what the hell this is.
That's so funny.
You will watch it after this, and I encourage people to watch it because it's really funny because he's calling everybody out.
Yeah,
and so they don't even know the elites. They don't understand it. They don't know. They have to put think tanks together, and they're paying people to kind of halfway get it. But it's the way it is the future. It's not a wave. No. It's set in stone, the future.
Yeah.
As long as we have an internet connection.
Yeah.
It's the way. I
mean, you can't stop it.
There's no stopping. It's the same with TARTLE.
Yeah.
There's no way to.
Unless someone literally.
There's no way to stop it.
Unless there's a coronal mass ejection from the sun, CME.
Yeah.
And it just blasts all the servers on Earth. There's no way to stop it.
Yeah, there's no way to stop it. I mean, it's the same as Bitcoin. There's no way to.
No.
There's no way. I mean, all the 1%ers can own Bitcoin and it can go to 500 million a coin.
But you can't own a human being.
But you can't. I mean, you could still own fractions of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Everybody can still own Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
It's the same with TARTLE. The beautiful part about TARTLE, the difference is
you own 100% of your work.
You own 100%.
Yeah.
And it's all based off of your personal responsibility.
I love that.
So somebody wants to sign up for TARTLE right now. How would they do that?
TARTLE.co. Click on Get Started. See you there.